This video is brought to you by Answerly, a question platform that pays you for adding high-quality answers on different questions. The users are rewarded in Answerly tokens, which they can easily convert into dollars or any other cryptocurrency by using one of the exchanges mentioned in the description.
Hello and welcome to our YouTube channel. In today's video, we'll be looking into top 10 free games to play on PC. If you're new here, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell to get the updates whenever we post. Looking for the best free PC game? Whether you're broke or just frugal, free is a price point that appeals to everybody's purse. From military to sci-fi to fantasy, from MMOs to block builders to card battlers, it turns out that $0 can buy you quite a lot in the free-to-play world. With that being said, here are the top 10 free games for you with your low-end PC. Starting off with Blockheart Indigo, OS Microsoft Windows 10, processor Intel Core 2 Duo, memory 4GB of RAM, graphics DirectX 9 or OpenGL 4.1 capable GPU, storage 300 MB available space. Blockheart Indigo is an 8-bit psychological thriller. Beatrice Summers, a young cynical detective, looks into the murder of wealthy robotics tycoon Evan Volkov. Hired by Aya Volkov, the victim's widow Beatrice must untangle the lies whispered within the Volkov estate and clear Aya's name by exploring the mansion's over 100 rooms for keys and clues, as well as interrogating 10 suspects and trying to persuade people to do or not to do some things. Smite, OS Windows 7 64-bit or newer, processor Core 2 Duo 2.4 GHz or Athlon X2 2.7 GHz, memory 4 GB of RAM, graphics NVIDIA GeForce 8800 GT, storage 30 GB of available space. Smite presents the MOBA genre in a whole new perspective. Eschewing the traditional RTS-inspired point-and-click model, players in Smite take direct control of their characters via WASD keyboard controls and a third-person camera perspective. This playstyle makes Smite a much more action-oriented MOBA where players must manually aim their attacks and scale while strafing oncoming blows. There are currently over 60 playable gods inspired by various mythologies around the world, including Greek, Egyptian, Hindu, Mayan, Norse, and Roman. The basic goal in most of Smite's game modes doesn't stray far from the MOBA formula. Two teams battle their way through waves of NPC minions and towers with the ultimate objective of destroying the opposing faction's main building, in this case, a Titan. Nerds Online requires a 64-bit processor and operating system, OS Ubuntu 16.04 Plus, Steam OS, processor 2.0 GHz, memory 4 GB of RAM, graphics OpenGL 3.3, 1366 by 768 resolution, storage 250 MB available space. Nerds is a free competitive card game on Steam from Zachtronics, the creator behind brainy puzzle games like Opus Magnum, Exapunks, Spacecam, and Shenzhen.io. The game pits players against each other in a race to clear out cards, solitaire style in their area of the shared space. It also includes a few Zachtronics additions like players being allowed to move cards between their Nerds pile and their tableau after Nerds have been called. Path of Exile, CPU speed x86 compatible 2.6 GHz or better, RAM 4 GB, OS Windows XP SP3, Windows 7 SP1, Windows 8. Video card NVIDIA GeForce GTX 650 Ti. Free disk space 20 GB. Path of Exile is an online action RPG set in a dark fantasy world of Rayclast. It is designed around a strong online item economy, deep character customization, competitive PvP, and ladder races. Path of Exile has always tried to stand apart from other modern ARPGs, with its lore-soaked setting and daunting passive skill tree doing a lot of the heavy lifting. Path of Exile successfully captures the spirit of older action RPGs and updates it for an experience that is visually appealing as it's fun. The combat itself doesn't differ much from other examples in the genre, but Path of Exile distinguishes itself with a unique ability system based on gems and a labyrinthine passive skill system that permits the creation of almost any type of character. Vedalem the Golden Horde, OS Windows 7, 8, 10, 64-bit, processor Intel Core i5-3450, memory 4 GB of RAM, graphics GeForce GTX 1050, 4 GB, storage 5 GB of available space. The Golden Horde is a real-time strategy game controlled by a point-and-click interface in which the primary goal on most maps is to build a strong enough army to defeat the opponent or opponents by destroying their settlement or, on occasion, occupying a specific building on the map. Set in Russia and Eastern Europe during the Mongol invasion 1237 to 1242, the game features 3 playable races Mongols, Russians, and Crusaders, each of whom has their own campaign, which occasionally overlaps with the other two. Warframe OS Windows 7 64-bit, 32-bit not supported, processor Intel Core 2 Duo E6400, memory 4GB of RAM, storage 35GB available HD space. Warframe is a shockingly polished free-to-play action game that boasts great visuals, gameplay, and replay value. It is an addictive online game that combines melee action, snappy shooting, and outstanding character mobility with mission-based progression, exciting multiplayer battles, and excellent sci-fi visuals. World of Tanks Blitz OS Windows 7, 8, 8.1, and 10. Processor 2 GHz, memory 2 GB of RAM, graphics DirectX 11 compliant video card with 256 MB VRAM. Storage 3 GB available space. World of Tanks WOT is a massively multiplayer online game. The player takes control of a single armored tank or self-propelled artillery vehicle of their choice and is placed into a battle on a random map. The player has control over the vehicle's movement, firing, and can communicate with allied players and all the other players through typed or voice chat. Simple random match is won either by destroying all vehicles on the opposing team or capturing the opposing team's base by staying in it for long enough without being damaged by another tank. Eternal Return OS Windows 10 64-bit, processor Intel Core i3-3225 or AMD FX 4350. Memory 4 GB of RAM, graphics NVIDIA GeForce GT 640, storage 5 GB available space. Eternal Return Black Survival is the first battle royale game of its kind. The game offers a fresh take on the genre by combining the best elements of battle royale, survival, and MOBA games into one unique package. Choose from 18 playable heroes with different skills, strengths, and weaknesses. Drop into the large urban island of Lumia Island where you'll need to loot and gather resources to craft weapons and gear while trying to survive against 17 other players and navigating a progressively shrinking map. Craft better and more powerful gear by combining existing ones with the required materials to gain an edge over your opponents and emerge as the last man, duo, or squad standing. War Thunder OS Windows 7 SP1, 8, and 10, processor dual-core 2.2 GHz, memory 4 GB of RAM, graphics Intel HD Graphics 5100, storage 39 GB of available space. War Thunder is a cross-platform military online game dedicated to combat aircraft, ground vehicles, and naval forces. War Thunder is a game of rare beauty and grace. The game is breathtaking when you're in the air, soaring over mountain valleys or Pacific atolls. Just taking a plane up through the clouds where the world beyond your wingtips vanishes into fog, while condensation whips over the canopy, gives way to the most extraordinary joy and elation when you burst into the clear blue sky. It feels like I'm really up there at the controls of a plane, playing among the peaks and valleys of a cloud formation. And topping our list at number 1, Undone 2022. Processor Qualcomm Snapdragon 800 Plus, memory 4 GB of RAM, storage 8 GB available space. Undone is an open-world cooperative action game. It's set in a world that has become overrun by zombies, leaving players to scramble around cautiously, doing their utmost to survive. The zombies won't be the only dangers to contend with, however. In addition to PvE, players will also have to battle against each survivors in PvP exchanges. It promises to be an extremely dangerous world to inhabit, so it would be wise for players to team up with others to increase their chances of survival. They will need to scavenge the giant open world map for resources, which can be used to craft supplies and weapons for battling against the undead hordes and other players alike. It will also be vital to work together to create shelters and trade resources to ensure that you and your friends are fully stocked up on the supplies they need. Additionally, scouting missions will need to be carried out to locate a promising homestead that can be fortified to protect players from the zombie threat. Well, there you have it, the top 10 free games that will knock your socks off. Which of these games would you consider playing? Is there any game in particular that you would like to play for free? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section below.
If you like this video, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel. To learn more about Answerly and Answerly tokens, check out the links in the description.